Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, let it not be said that I do not talk about little matters in faraway places. Everything seems to have been around Edinburgh and the Central Belt the last couple of days, for obvious reasons. So I thought we'd take a step away and have a look at a story which you cannot get much further away from Edinburgh and still remain in Scotland. And it's a story that, whilst being local to this particular area, I think is a metaphor for just about everything in Scotland. And if you look at it that way, I think you can see that, yeah, it's a sad reflection on everything that's going on. So we'll take a look at this, and boy, am I going a long way out for you guys. We're going to have a look at a story in the Stornaway Gazette. Can't get much further out, can you? Let's have a look at this story about transport and the problems therein. Here goes. So the headline, Transport Scotland plan to manage decline. But I think that this, although is a local issue, I think it's something that really is applied across the entire country. This managed decline. They know they cannot maintain what they have, but they don't want it just to inwardly collapse in one big bang. So they slowly, piecemeal, take it away until it just isn't there anymore. And you have to ask what you're paying all these excess taxes for if it's just to pay for a managed decline. And that, I think, is a deeper problem. And that's what I'm saying. Although this is a local issue, I think it is the metaphor for the whole of Scotland. And I'm going to apologise in advance if I mangle the pronunciation of this place. Well, it's the council, isn't it? But, well, I can do it, but I apologise if I don't. I believe it's Corla Naneal Shire. So if I got that wrong, do tell me. If I got it right, give me a thumbs up. Anyway, Corla Naneal Shire has delivered a scathing verdict on the Scottish Government's Islands Connectivity Plan, which charts a future course for ferry operations. Now, we all know in Scotland the ferries are all going to die. There are no such things as ferries anymore. It's a distant dream. You've got about 4 or 5 that run, and then they have to keep shifting them around from here to that route, and then they'll take them over and do that route, and then move them around there to do that route. You know, because SNP, ferry building, not two things that go together naturally. Anyway, in response to a consultation on the plan, the caller repeatedly, I'm presuming that means, yeah, it does, means council, doesn't it? The caller repeatedly accuses Transport Scotland, a wing of Scottish Government, of reducing capacity on ferry routes rather than planning for future demand. They can't plan. They couldn't organise a piss up at a brewery, let alone planning future demand on ferries. The criticism comes at a critical time when SNP ministers must decide whether to entrench Transport Scotland's dominant role in future governments of ferry services under the new CalMac contract, an option widely opposed in the islands because they've lived with it. They've seen how bad it is. They don't want this to continue. It's awful, isn't it? In a report to the caller's Transport Committee, Chief Executive Malcolm Burr wrote, the draft Islands Connectivity Plan seems to be focused on managing the decline of island ferry services by seeking to reduce capacity rather than supporting growth through increased capacity. He said it continues. It said visitor numbers to the islands are growing year on year, and renewable energy developments over the next 10 years will bring demand for thousands of additional vehicle and passenger movements. And of course it will. And of course the SNP government cannot handle it. It's hard. The caller submission to the consultation argues that there is an obligation to take account of not only existing demand, but potential demand, passengers turned away, invisible demand, etc., etc. Now, I'm not going to go in because this is just, literally talking about one island. So we're not going to focus that really. What we've got to look at here is the very essence of what is going on across not just this particular route, but, everything out of Oban or whatever, and going over there, and the Westerns, and going up to Shetlands, and, all these island services. They're all suffering because it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to pay someone who builds boats to build a boat. Well, it is for the SNP because they like to go, yes, okay, rather than just, here's some money, build us a boat. It's, here's some money, build us a boat, and then halfway through we want to change it, and then we want to change the engine. Oh, and we want to change the design. Oh, and can we put that there? And can we change the route? Oh, and it's not going in that water, it's going in this type of water. They haven't got a clue. Rather than doing what they should do, which is going to the cheapest ferry operator builder, someone like in Turkey or South Korea, and saying, oh, build us a boat. Thanks. Jobs are good. Oh, look, it's been delivered 4 years ago, on time, on budget, and working. Unbelievable. But of course, they've got to keep micromanaging everything, sticking their finger in. No wonder everything falls apart so often, so fast. And it doesn't help that you've had a whole series of transport secretaries that haven't got a clue what they're doing. Have they, Hamza Yousaf? I mean, and then Jenny... oh, God, bloody spinning Jenny. My brain's gone out there. But she couldn't do it. She had to screw around with trains rather than concentrating on that. You've got the current one who hasn't got a clue. Can't get the cakes in her mouth fast enough. They honestly, there's none of them. None of them are any good, are they? And when you have years of that, it's not as though you get one bad apple, you know, oh, we've had a little bit of downtime, whatever. It's consistent. And they won't put the money in because they want to spend the money on everything else other than actually doing things for the people. So, of course, it's all falling apart. Anyway, I'm not going to drag that because it is just annoying the bloody bollocks off me. But I do feel sorry for the people on the islands. They know it, they see it, they know what's happening. And all they've got to do is look around and just see things falling apart faster and faster and faster. And eventually they're just going to be they're going to be locked on those islands. The only way on and off will be by a bloody plane. They need to start building bridges. And I don't mean figurative ones. I mean real big fat bridges, you know. What's the one? Kyle of a Couch. Marvellous bridge. They did that. That was fantastic. Still take the ferry though. I like the dolphins. Anyway, we'll stop there. We'll round off. We'll come up and we'll finish the video. As I say, it's actually within itself just a very little story for the people on Stornaway. But it acts as a metaphor for everything, doesn't it? And it really just sums up the SNP in total. Everything. And it doesn't matter. It's not just transport. It's everything. Is just managed decline. It's a failing state. 17 years of SNP rule. And it is failing in every single metric. There is nothing you can point to and say, oh, that's got better. Hey ho. Anyway, we'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video and let me know about my pronunciation. Let me see how good or bad it was. I do try, but sometimes you mangle it. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.